A very good morning to you as we welcome you back to this special broadcast. We're coming to you live from Fort Grey Primary School, and as you can see, the people of this area have actually given up everything to be part of this special broadcast, and I've got to commend you, ladies and gentlemen, for availing yourselves. I understand that you could have been anywhere, but you chose to be here with us, and we really appreciate your presence here. It's important stakeholders that have a crucial role to play in education in the province, and tough questions have been asked, comments as well, and certainly there's been very little coming on the side of compliments, but to do welcome them as well, ladies and gentlemen. You are more than welcome to compliment the education department if there's anything positive that you see happening within your area. But of course, in the last segment, we heard from the teacher unions, SADTU and NAPTOSA in particular. Of course, we did highlight that some of the issues are leveled against them, some of the problems bedeviling the Department of Education in the province. But we'll allow the MEC of Education to respond to some of the questions and the issues that were raised by the teacher unions.
Thank you very much. Once again, Program Director. I think it's important to highlight the fact that appreciate the contribution that is done by the various stakeholders, teacher unions, SGB associations, and political parties that participate in Parliament. I have always felt that the support, the critique or constructive criticism that they do is actually giving us more willpower to go on and do our work, because all of us were common about making the best out of the little that we have. That's the first thing I prioritize. The last point I want to highlight, especially on the point of providing a teacher in front of learners, with the challenge of the Eastern Cape, with people interested in not teaching in the rural areas. I started, of course, the department started a program called it a Matthew Goniwe Bursary Program for Maths and Science, where we're saying to this learner, we're going to provide you with a bursary for 4 years to study B.Ed on mathematics. Come back and allow us to take you where there is a need. And 300 of these Eastern Cape children have agreed to that. They are in the 4 institutions in the Eastern Cape. We hope that out of that program, we'll be able at least to ensure that in the rural areas, there are educators for the critical subjects. Otherwise, I always take it that the contributions are meant to assist the department to go on. Also to say, I've extended my condolences even earlier to the young girl at Bizana. I'll be visiting Bizana tomorrow again, just to make sure that as a parent, that could have happened even to my child or any other, or a relative of mine. And to say in the ultimate end, hopefully out of these programs, this program could be organized much better with hindsight than how it has been organized today. It was a bit clumsy, and I don't think that this was the best in the circumstance. We could have allowed all the stakeholders to have 2 or 3 minutes each on issues that they would love to raise. And I'm raising this at the end, so to ensure that I'm not running away from engagement. But we can organize this much better.
We really apologize. But before we let you go, we've got to ask you a question about the issue of corruption, which is said to be crippling the department, particularly in procurement. How do you respond to that?
Well, let me indicate that firstly, corruption is a very, shall I say, insidious act. It's an act that does not happen in front of the eyes. It's very rare. It usually involves a corrupter and a corruptee. Now, on many occasions, where you would be able to pick up is where there are gaps in the systems, risks that you must close. But where people have been caught, obviously, we say without doubt, those people must face the music, must face the law, and obviously condemn it because it's siphoning public taxpayers' money.
What we possibly expect that there will be examples of people who have been caught and actually maybe punished for...
We have cases in the department where people have lost even their jobs, been dismissed, others have been fired, others are facing criminal cases because of the acts that they did in the department and were found on the wrong side of the law. We do have such cases, yeah.
Sir, let's allow you a few minutes. And I understand the gentleman at the back there has been itching to speak to us. I trust that you've got the microphone with you, do you? Let's hear from you.
Thank you very much, Unachi. Greetings, everyone.
If you can just be snappy, sir, we are kind of pressed with time at the moment.
Yes. Now, my name is Mlamli from South African Public Service Workers Union, which is popularly known as SABC. Yeah. Quickly, ours is to echo the same as words that have been shared by the stakeholders here with regards to the state of education in the province. But however, we believe at the center of the performance of schools and everything is the infrastructural challenges. There is a direct link with the performance. Yeah. But the question that just I want to pose to the MEC is,
very quickly, sir.
Yeah, he made mention of the issue of the impact of school rationalization and school measure. I would like to hear from him when is the report going to be given on that? Because as SABC want to believe that this process was ill-conceived. Ill-conceived in the sense that how do you begin to close and measure schools without having, in the first place, making a diagnosis and come up with interventions, before you close the schools? Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. If you can hand over the mic to this lady here. We've also been joined by the SGB of this particular school that we're broadcasting from. We welcome you ladies at the back there. Ma'am, the floor is yours.
I'm Pesculina Brandt from PE. I'm an educational activist. I have a question for the MEC. We visited Vusukanyo Primary School in Elliot, and that school was hit by a hailstorm in 2011. That school has never been repaired, and it's so sad to see the conditions that our children have to go through. It's very sad.
But if we can handle... Oh, ma'am, you already have the mic. Tell me, you are a parent. What are you in your communities doing to ensure that there's smooth running in our schools, they are safeguarded and things like that?
We as I'm Manisa Nana from Overton Primary School. We as the community, we do safeguard our schools because we'll always ask those who are just near the school to look at the schools, even the children, not to play. The person who is just going down or wandering has to just take the children out of the school. Except one problem that we don't have a school right now. We have a school, but our school is not recognized by our department, as our district officer said, because we reported that we have been moving to the place where we have a satellite. That they said it's not a satellite. I don't know how is it. If you have a branch of that school, we hope it's a satellite. Now we don't know whether we are being denied of that school or what, or else the department, that is the office, is intending to close down our school, of which is practically impossible. It will never happen over our dead bodies. A school of 400 and something, and then they said they're going to take that school to this school. That will never happen.
Very, very tough.
That will never happen. It will never. I'm saying this in front of the MEC because the MEC's office helped us and took us to the to public works at Sterling about the infrastructure, and the other departments. But it was surprising that the new DDG has no knowledge of such. But the last one, who was Mr. Mguni, happened to be with us when we were talking. We even had the sponsors that he had always been with us. The place we are, of course, is not recognized because it has not, this the problem of the land. But the school is there. And then we have with the community, decided to build the shacks as classrooms. But it was surprising when the district officer said we have to go back to the previous school.
You've been noted.
We'll never go there because there's no school there anymore.
Ma'am. Even the school that we're broadcasting from, as you can see yourself. If you can hand over the mic to the lady from Equal Education. I understand that you've got a case against the department on the issue of infrastructure.
Yes, we do have a case against the department that was just heard in the Bishop High Court last week on Wednesday and Thursday, of which the MEC did not issue any notice to abide by the court, but again, the minister represented all provinces when she said that we don't need to prioritize schools like this, which are made of mixed structures. You see that zinc structure? The minister said she can choose how she prioritizes schools. And again, the MEC is again not wanting to accept our letters, and I tried to give it to him during the break, but that didn't happen. The point is that the minister and the MECs are putting in delay tactics, and that's why we took them to the court. The court was to change, to close the loopholes in the norms and standards for school infrastructure. The loopholes say that that the minister can only achieve school infrastructure if other parties come to the picture. But we are saying that she's the Minister of Education and the buck stops with her. It is her responsibility as a member of the executive to convene the other ministers and to convene the head of ESCOM to make sure that schools have electricity, water, sanitation, and are not made of zinc structures or mud like this school is.
Let's give a chance to this gentleman just before we wrap. The issue of water and sanitation seem to come up time and again in this debate.
Yes, the issue of water and sanitation is a problem in the Eastern Cape. As I've indicated, there's about 2,426 schools with insufficient water, 2,491 schools with insufficient sanitation, and that has an influence on the quality of education. But I want to say something to the MEC. We need to applaud the MEC as well for having done certain things, delivering of school of learner teacher support material, although not sufficient, it was delivered. A lot of our schools in the northern areas have been fenced. A lot of the schools have been built. I've said things are happening, although not enough. And I just want to plead with the MEC here today. He has attracted 300 learners to go to the rural areas. Let us retain those teachers by providing them with a rural incentives. The rural incentive policy needs to be changed so that we can retain those teachers.
Let's hold it right there, sir. Thank you very, very much for your time. Just make it very brief, sir.
The last one from UDM. I think this is serves as an evidence of what we have been saying as UDM, that the absence of intergovernmental relations causes this kind of chaos, where everybody is raising issues differently. And we have been calling on our government to say the sooner we sharpen the issues of intergovernmental relations so that everybody is in one place. Because when you talk about education, we cannot allow ourselves to be antagonistic. We need to find a way of being common, because at the end of the day, the person who suffers is the child. We might be standing here in grandstand, but as UDM we are saying we need to find a common ground and find a way of resolving issues together as a society.
Thank you very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. It has been a very, very tough and a very, very heated debate, but it's definitely not going to end here. I'm sure they're still going to interact some more even when we are done with this broadcast. But that's all we have time for from here in East London. Allow us to wrap and hand back to you in Auckland Park.